We are here at the World Blockchain Summit in Dubai as hosted by Trescon. Today, I have a very special guest with me, the CEO of Trescon, Naveen. Naveen, how are you today?
Very good, thank you. Excited.
Naveen, could you start by telling our users how you got started with your journey with Trescon?
Well, I'm a Group CEO of Trescon. A little bit about Trescon. We've been in the business since 2016. We do three things. Number one, we run emerging technology events around the world. The World Blockchain Summit, which is the world's longest running series, is a brand that we own, and this is the 29th edition. We also partner with governments around the world in conceptualizing and launching events end to end for them, but not just as an event management agency, but as an event partner who emphasizes on the content, the community, and the impact that the events can bring. So that's one vertical. The second vertical is investment. So we're also invested in a few super early stage emerging technology companies in the fields of fintech, esports and gaming, smart meter data management, so that falls under sustainability. Also recently investing in an experience management platform and a few more in the pipeline. And the third vertical is a foundation, social impact. So we have our Trescon Foundation, which currently focuses on a few initiatives in India, focused on bridging the digital divide in the rural areas of India, as well as healthcare, women empowerment, and youth empowerment. Right? Wow. Trescon's got about 250 employees. Our headquarters is now here in Dubai. We have 3 offices in India. We have a few more offices outside of India where our employees and our partners work from. Now that's on Trescon. About me, to your question, 17 to 18 years of working, 80% of that in the B2B events, B2B business facilitation and networking space. Although I've also spent 4 years in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and data analytics. I've also spent a couple of years in the banking. So working in those different industries gave me a perspective of what events like these mean to people and what is it that they expect. How does the community network and how do they collaborate? What type of value do they expect from events like these, so on and so forth.
So there's a lot to unpack there. You guys are clearly at the forefront of anything tech and innovation. One thing that stood out to me is you said this is the 29th edition of the World Blockchain Summit. Now, generally in the tech space, companies come and go and they struggle to stay innovative. How has Trescon managed to have 29 editions of the World Blockchain Summit, and how do you stay so innovative in the space?
Well, I think credit goes to one, the founders who've been quite gritty, if I can use that word, all-weather proof, time-tested. Even during COVID days, the Blockchain Summit took to virtual space and then it came back to the physical space, because one thing that we realized is as much as blockchain is an emerging technology and we talk about things like metaverse, a large majority of the blockchain community actually likes to meet in person, because that's where serendipity happens, right? So I'll share something slightly personal to one of our founders, but at one point the company was nearly at the brink of collapsing, and he literally had to mortgage his house, close to selling his house and a few other properties to make sure that the business keeps going. And he did that. The business survived, and then the business started thriving. So that commitment from them is number one. Number two, it's also the team members that we're all blessed with, because a lot of our team members have spent 5 to 6 years with us, and it's rare that in today's world that you find people sticking for such long durations in companies like ours, because people don't stick around for that long, but our guys have stuck around. So they make the fabric. And thirdly, most importantly, it's our community. So in this case, the blockchain community, so they've been quite supportive. They've been quite forthcoming. They've stood with us from the time we launched it till now. So we launched the World Blockchain Summit in Dubai, and then we've held editions in Singapore, in Taiwan, in Russia, in Amsterdam, in Poland. So it's gone around the world, and we have a loyal, if I may say, fan base that actually supports us wherever we go. So a combination of all these things have actually helped us in making sure that the 29 editions and the many more editions that we will be hosting actually go steadily and strongly.
I really like what you said about people, because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. And we've been speaking to the employees who are, working all day on a Sunday to set up and then working late yesterday. And everyone is coming into work with a smile on their face and this high energy, which is fantastic to see. In terms of success stories from the World Blockchain Summit and how a attendee has made a collaboration here that has impacted the blockchain space, do you have any stories you could share with us?
Many different stories. I won't take names just to appreciate and respect their privacy, but We've got enterprises that participate. We've got folks from, as you might have seen yesterday and today, we've got folks from the banking industry, the healthcare industry, the logistics, shipping, ports, manufacturing, education industry, so on and so forth, who have also told us that by attending these events, they've gotten sparks and ideas which they implemented within their respective companies. And one, bust the bubble of blockchain being just a crypto. Two, actually leveraging the full power at its capacity of blockchain. So that's on the delegates front. But we do have a few companies that have also been time tested, and they've been exposed to investors who came in early, angels between $50,000 to $100,000, and then supporting them within their all the way up until Series A and thereon, and exposing them to their respective networks, and making sure that financial injection or capital injection or lack of funds doesn't hinder the potential of a true business or the growth of a true business, which can revolutionize the blockchain space or just generally the world that we live in. Plus, by exposing themselves to the governments and the enterprises, the tech, at the end of the day, the end users more often than not. Because again, blockchain is not just about NFTs. Blockchain is not just about gaming. Blockchain is not just about cryptos, right? So by connecting them with them, the businesses, those startups, have actually survived different turbulent times and have continued to grow. Investors as well, we see now there's a massive trend. Lots and lots of private equity firms and venture capitalists are actively investing in blockchain, but even family offices, institutional investors, sovereign wealth funds are now investing into blockchain. And a lot of those folks have attended our events. Again, there was a phase where they were being educated, they were being fed the data, the opportunities, they were forecasting what might go right, what might go wrong, so on and so forth. And then they've actually made that leap of actually investing into those companies, moving away from traditional, conventional investments, but to make a switch into something like emerging technology investment where you can't touch, feel what you're investing into is a massive, it's scary, and it's a massive mindset change. It's a shift in the way you think, right? That has actually happened, and they come tell us that, hey guys, we invested in this, we invested in that. In the previous edition of the Blockchain Summit, we actually had on stage a bunch of investors announcing the different startups that they invested into, and a couple of them actually said that they met those startups at our event. So these are real world impact that we can see. But in addition to all of that, there's also something interesting that the Blockchain Summit brings, and this is again, this is an intangible, you can't measure it, but you can feel it, which is when we hosted in cities like Dubai or Singapore or Bangkok or wherever else, we also bring participants from around the world into that city. But these are people that matter. These are people that become aware of the local regulatory landscape and regimes. And then eventually some of them set up businesses, hire people, raise capital, deploy capital, and do a lot more, therefore influencing and shaping the local economies. So I can give you a list of a lot of other real world value-based impact that the World Blockchain Summit brings, as well as a lot of events like the World Blockchain Summit brings to the world. But I think this just sums it up for now.
I think we don't have to go more into that because I'm sure there's an endless list of stories you could tell. In terms of users who are coming to one of the World Blockchain Summit events or another Trescon event for the first time, how can they maximize the results that they get from coming into an event like this, or the collaboration opportunities?
So one of the things that we've been doing quite well is the curation of the content, as well as bringing the communities together, is not a unilateral decision that we take. It's actually something that we take in conjunction, in consultation with the community and the participants. So everybody that's attending the World Blockchain Summit gives us a bunch of information, general stuff like trends, topics, challenges, types of solutions, who do they want to meet with? If they're an investor, how much do they want to invest? How soon do they want to invest? Information like this helps us in putting together the conference agenda and inviting or recruiting the right types of thought leaders who also cuts across multiple different domains. Pre-event, a lot of the data and information is collected, which helps in curation of the event. And again, pre-event, we publish the mobile app. We let people know about the different types of topics, the sessions, the speakers, their respective backgrounds, so people can plan better which sessions add the most value to them. And while they're here, of course, there are sessions, there are parallel roundtables, workshops, and discussions that keep going on as well. Now, post-event, I think it all boils down to two things. One, the level of information that you've been able to absorb and draw or drive relevance out of it for what you can do internally. And number two, the type of people that you met with and what type of follow up conversations you can have with them. I think numerous benefits, but we encourage, we coach, we educate our participants to make sure that while the 2 days of the summit is where the physical presence and participation happens, the intended impact of the summit is actually 365 days long. And that's what the summit is all about. It's not just come, let's have a great time, clap, and enjoy after parties, and then we forget about it. No, this is to make your 365 days impactful.
This is the beginning.
Yes.
This is where it starts.
Yes.
For our users who are now excited about the World Blockchain Summit and other Trescon events, how can they reach out and get involved in the ecosystem?
Well, www.worldblockchainsummit.com, easiest way. Get onto our social media channels as well. And of course, we also have friends like you from the media, our association partners who keep sharing reports, indices, predictions, forecasts, suggestions, innovation, novelty, so on and so forth. So I think that's the best way to keep in touch with us.
Fantastic.
And add mutual value.
So now you guys know how to get in touch with Trescon. Now a question not about blockchain, not about work. Your mustache.
I knew that was coming.
You know, it is so iconic. You can see you from a mile away. What is the story behind that?
Well, actually, no story. And if I were to be 100% honest, I copied it from a friend.
Oh, good friend.
He tried it. He looked bad. I'm using a good word here. I tried it, and for some reason, it just
works.
Just worked. Okay. It just worked. I liked it. People liked it. It became a part of my identity, and for the past, I think, 7 to 8 years or so, that's stayed on.
Well, Naveen, thank you so much for your time. Wishing you all the best with the World Blockchain Summit.
Most welcome. Thank you for having me here.